It's another edition of Time About the Movies, and today we're taking a look at the films of June 6, 1997. We got 5 movies to look at today, so let's go ahead and get right to it. And we'll start off with the biggest new release of the weekend, and that is Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, and John Malkovich in the action thriller Con Air. God, I love this movie. Con Air is the perfect definition of a summer popcorn entertainment experience. I don't even know if that's an actual term, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to go for here. I mean, this is a movie where you turn your brain off, you get a tub of popcorn, you get your drink, and you just sit back, relax, and just let the movie play, and you just have the time of your life with it. Like, this is a film that is not very clever story-wise, but everything that it delivers in this movie is just pure perfection. The action sequences are outstanding. The cast is absolutely brilliant. I mean, Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, John Malkovich playing Cyrus the Virus, Steve Buscemi, Ving Rhames, Cole Meany, Michaelette Williamson, Rachel Ticotin, Monica Porter, Dave Chappelle. Just a phenomenal cast in here, and they're just having the time of their lives making this movie. I mean, the action sequences are incredible. The story overall, yeah, like I said, it's not the most well thought out story, but man, it just delivers on everything else, man. The action sequences in this movie are just so much fun to watch. The scene where they're flying the plane in the Las Vegas Strip, like, that's just absolutely hilarious. It's an absolutely fun movie, and granted, yeah, it goes on a little bit at the end, but really, it's a hell of a fun movie. It's really great. Nicolas Cage is very fun to watch in here. The first of 2 big successes for him during the summer of '97, and like I said, John Malkovich playing Cyrus the Virus, just pure perfection, man. Like, this movie is just so damn fun, and honestly, I had no idea that one of the songs from this movie, "How Do I Live," actually came from, this movie, because in this movie it's performed by Trisha Yearwood, but I've also heard the one by LeAnn Rimes, which actually came out a few weeks before this movie came out. In fact, both versions of this song came out the very same day, which is very interesting, because you have a song by LeAnn Rimes, and then you have the one by Trisha Yearwood. I thought it was very interesting. That's very interesting. I don't know if that's ever happened before. We've had 2 versions of the same song come out on the exact same day. But in the case of this one, it's Trisha Yearwood doing the one in the movie here. Even though I kind of like the LeAnn Rimes one better, this one's still pretty good too, and got an Oscar nomination too. So at least something came out of it. But other than that, though, this movie just has so much fun with itself. It knows it's not taking itself seriously whatsoever. It has great lines all throughout the film. I mean, put the bunny back in the box. I mean, what more do I need to say about that? You know, just so many great lines in this movie, so much well-made action sequences, so many well-made action sequences is what I'm trying to say here. It's just too much fun, man. I can't really say anything too bad about this movie, even though the story doesn't really come together as much, especially when it drags a little bit at the end, but at the same time, you're just having the time of your life watching this. This is such a fun, turn your brain off, have a good time movie experience that's just, I can't recommend this movie enough. Con Air is just such a ton of fun. Can't recommend it enough. Definitely check it out. So, with that said, let's move on to the next movie. Rene Russo starring in Buddy. Yeah, Jim Henson Pictures. This is not the movie I think you really wanted to start off with. This is a film, of course, about Rene Russo playing this woman who... It's based on the story of this gorilla called Masa, which includes some elements of the person that she's playing in this movie, the other gorilla that she had, who she called Buddy at the time. In real life, this gorilla became the oldest living gorilla up until 2008, when she died at a circus attraction, and he died in a circus attraction, and his remains are now on display in a museum. This should be a really interesting film. It should be a very engaging film. It's directed by Caroline Thompson, who also wrote Edward Scissorhands and also did The Night Before Christmas and directed Black Beauty, which is a really good film. But for Jim Henson Productions, with the animatronics that they use on their films and how great they are, you'd expect a whole lot better than what they have in this movie here. This movie is just... It's amazing how bad these effects look. It's not really Congo bad, where Amy is literally a person in a gorilla suit and it doesn't even look close to looking like a gorilla. This one at least is trying, but at the same time, it just doesn't feel like it just doesn't work as well as I think they wanted it to. Also, I don't think that the person that they're basing this on, Rene Russo's character, it feels like they're trying to create a new modern day version of Dr. Dolittle, except replace Rex Hamilton with Rene Russo. Of course, they make another Dr. Dolittle film the following year with Eddie Murphy, which turned out to be a much bigger success. But I see a little bit of Mary Poppins, too. Like, she's trying a little bit too hard to be... It's like they're trying a little bit too hard to go back to, like, stuff like Dr. Dolittle and Mary Poppins, try to combine them together into this role. And I just don't think it works here very well here. Rene Russo's trying her best here, but it's just not coming together well here at all. Like, you can't really buy into this relationship between her and the gorilla. There are times in this movie when the gorilla looks at her like he wants to bang her. Like, I'm sorry, I know it's a kid's film, but it's really hard not for me to see scenes with this gorilla looking at her and not think that he's got other intentions with her. And it's just like, that's not a good sign for this movie. This is the first film from Jim Henson Pictures of what was supposed to be many others, and a lot of their movies they did when they became their own company did not really pan out all that well. We're going to see some of these examples coming up in the next couple of years, but yeah, this was not a good one to start off on, unfortunately, and yeah, it's a really bad movie. It's not a well-made film whatsoever. It's a disappointment. There's a lot of potential there, but it just doesn't quite add up all the way in the end. So that's Buddy. Let's go ahead and move on to the next film we've got here, and that is Bliss. Because you know who I would want to go to if I need problems with my sex life? General Zod from Superman the movie. Yeah, this is a weird one here. This is a story. You basically get a concept of what the movie is there. The young married couple here, played by Craig Schiffer and Cheryl Lee, they are trying to address issues impacting their sex life, and they try to use the teachings of tantric sex, and they go to their psychologist in this movie, played by Terrence Stamp, for his advice on there. And I don't know. This feels like a movie that would have easily played on Skinamax or HBO late at night, but they blew it out for the big screen because they got a name like Terrence Stamp, as well as Cheryl Lee and Craig Schiffer. But other than that, though, this is a movie that does not look like it really is going in the right direction whatsoever here. It's just like, it's a film that I think tries a little too... It looks like it's trying too hard to be a new Basic Instinct or a new kind of erotic thriller, but it just doesn't really work that well here from what I'm seeing in this trailer. I haven't seen the movie, of course, so I can't really say if it's any good or not. The reviews for this do not look very positive. In fact, they were pretty much very divided from what I'm seeing here. But other than that, though, I really don't know if this movie is any good or not. I sincerely doubt it, but like I said, it feels like a Skinamax movie blown up for the big screen. But who knows? Maybe it actually could be something, but I don't know. I can't say anything about it because I haven't seen it. Those are just my thoughts on it, just from watching the trailer alone. So yeah, on to the next film, Red Cherry. So this is, as you can see, this is a Chinese film made in 1995 under the name Hong Ji Tao, and this is based on the true story of Chu Chu, a 13-year-old Chinese girl, and Liu Xiaomin, a 12-year-old Chinese boy who were sent to Moscow, Russia, in the 1940s, and enrolled in an international boarding school. There they had so many great and difficult experiences as they tried to survive World War II. The children's real encounter with fate begins as summer break, or as they call it, Kanakuli, arrives. Chu Chu accompanied her to a children's camp in Belarus, while Xiaomin remains in Moscow. Then Russia is invaded by Operation Barbarossa, and Red Cherry is basically an account of the two orphans' parallel experiences of the war. I haven't seen this movie. I can't really say anything about it, so it looks kind of promising from the little bit of clips I saw there. I couldn't find a trailer for it, so I actually took a little bit of footage there from the actual movie, which is available online, and it's got some promise to it. The idea sounds pretty interesting in terms of the premise. I mean, it could definitely go either way, but like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't really say if it's any good or not. So on to the last film that we have here, and that is Intimate Relations. This is a black comedy and kind of a drama about this young man who has an affair with this middle-aged housewife he's lodging with. Matters are soon complicated when the housewife's teen daughter gets involved after developing a crush on the young lodger. The film takes place in the 1950s in the suburbs of London, depicting the hypocritical, prudish residents of a seemingly respectable household who, behind closed doors, indulge in the sort of sordid goings of that they would publicly sneer at. Once again, haven't seen the film, so I can't really say if it's any good or not. I mean, Julia Walters is in it. Usually she can be very good. It's a young appearance by Nicholas Hoult in here. I don't know. I don't know if it's any good or not. I mean, the trailer looks kind of like a fun black comedy in a way. But other than that, though, I don't really know if it's any good or not. I can't really say if it has any promise to it, but it's good. It looks like it could be at least somewhat interesting. I don't know for sure if it's any good, but like I said, could be interesting. Could not be that good of a film, but that's all I really know about it. So that's Intimate Relations. So with that said, that laps up another edition of Time About the Movies. When we meet next time, we've got a really good week of films to talk about. One of my all-time favorite guilty pleasure films comes out this weekend, Speed 2 Cruise Control. We also have the limited theatrical release of Disney's Hercules to look at, as well as Peter Fonda and his Oscar-nominated performance of Muley's Gold, also Temptress Moon, and Wedding Bell Blues. So 5 films to look at. We'll look at those on the next episode. But until then, thank you very much for watching, and if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the playlist on the next page, check out the previous episode, and as always, hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this here on the channel. And that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time, and until then, as always, take care.